Hey, Math 206, we just talked about area, and now we'll use those ideas to calculate areas and do conversions using the English and the metric systems. So one thing to think about, we had that King Hector died by drinking chocolate milk, which was B is our base, and then K stands for that root word kilo, so kilometer, hectometer, decameter, base, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. And then to do conversions, you either move your decimal point to the left however many places or to the right however many places. Now, when we're talking about square units, it's not just one place over that you move the decimal point, because suppose, for example, this is a meter, which is broken down into 10 decimeters, right? Because there are 10 decimeters in 1 meter. So now if I create the square with side length 1 meter, what I get is a square that is 1 meter by 1 meter. This is 1 square meter. But how many decimeters are inside? There's 10 by 10, which is 100 decimeters. So that's reflected here in this chart that, for example, how many meters are there in a decameter? There are 100 because there's 10 meters in 1 decameter. So 10 by 10 is 100. And then how many meters are there in a hectometer? Well, times 10 times 10 again, there are 10,000 square meters in a square hectometer. And how many square meters are there in a square kilometer? 10 times 10 times 10. That's 1,000,000 square meters in 1 kilometer. So basically what we're doing is you can use this same mnemonic device. King Hector died by drinking chocolate milk. But every time that you move, it's not just one decimal place, it's times 100 or times or divided by 100. So that's 2 places for each jump along the staircase here. All right, so thinking about that, let's convert the following: 5 square centimeters to square millimeters. So to go from centimeters to millimeters, that'll be 2 places to the right. So take that 5, the decimal point is after the 5, move that decimal point over 2 places, which adds 2 zeros. So that's 500 square millimeters. Another way to think about this is if you know that, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. This is just another way of thinking about it. Square both sides. 1 squared is 1. Centimeter squared is square centimeters. 10 squared is 100. Millimeter squared is squared millimeters. And then to get 5 centimeters squared, multiply both sides by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. 100 times 5 is 500. So this is just another way to do it if you know the conversion for the linear units. Now let's convert 124 million square miles to square kilometers. So here we are in square miles. We'll move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 hops to the left, which is 2 decimal places for each hop. So 2, 4, 6, 6 places. 6 places left. So here's my decimal point: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 124 square kilometers, which would make sense because 1,000,000 square miles is 1 square kilometer. So 124 million should be 124 square kilometers. All right, so now these are some units that we use in land measure. So the typical ones that you'll hear about are square kilometers and acres and square miles. Now, beyond this, there are 2 other metric units that, these two here have one-dimensional analogs, right? A square kilometer is a square with side lengths, 1 kilometer on each side. So a kilometer was the one-dimensional analog. Same thing with square miles. Now, acre is a two-dimensional measure that doesn't have any one-dimensional analog, right? It only begins its life as a two-dimensional measurement. So we've got acres. Same thing with air. This would be the base unit for a whole bunch of measurements using the metric system. So you have an air, which is 100 square meters, and a hectare, which is 100 airs. All right, so let's do some problems here. A square field has side of 400 meters. Let's find the area of the field in hectares. So first of all, 1 hectare, 1 hectare is 100 airs, or 10,000 square meters. Okay, so now you have this square, which has 400 meters on each side. So the area of the square is 400 times 400, or 160,000 square meters. So now, if we know that 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters, then what I'll do to convert this to hectares is I'll divide by 10,000. And this is sort of like how we did in the past. 160 square meters times, let's divide by 10,000 square meters to convert that to however many, to convert that to hectares. So square meters cancels out, and 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So that's 16 hectares. All right, let's do another one. A square field has a side length of 400 yards. Let's find the area of the field or a side length of 400 yards. Let's find the area of the field in acres. So let's first draw the field. We got 400 yards on one side, 400 yards on the other. So the area of my field here is 16 with 4 zeros, or 160,000 square yards. Now to convert that to acres, I need to know how many square yards are in 1 acre. So there's 40 square yards per acre. So I'll multiply here by 4840 in the denominator to get rid of the square yards to convert that to acres. So that'll give me the computation 160,000 divided by 4840, which is approximately 33 acres.